All right, welcome
Wait.
to the realest out.
It's okay.
You
We can.
bum.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, we can edit that.
Nah, we're just gonna let it rock. It's fine. Welcome to the realest hours. I'm your host Rami. We got Adonis. We got Steve. We got Will. How are y'all days?
Pretty decent, man. Life is good.
Pretty good. I was off work today, so that's dope.
It's alright. Me and the sandwich. It's fine.
Here we go. Now to get right to it. What are we talking about today, boys?
So I had an idea for a topic, which was how are each of you? How do each of you feel about like just getting up and going, and like never having to deal with your friends or family ever again? Like completely moving, shit, even changing your name.
Just like the concept of just like, all right, restarting my life. Is that your question?
Well, you're a little low, Adonis.
So like, just the concept of like restarting my life. Is that the question?
Yeah, completely like starting over, moving to like a random city or whatever. And
Well,
just
I feel like, well, for my culture, like just being Dominican, like it's very difficult to kind of just leave your family, even if like you really kind of wanted to, because like the culture is very tight knit and like it's very uh, hospitable and like social and stuff like that. But given like that's how I grew up, it would be really difficult for me to just be like, all right, I'm never gonna talk to like anyone I knew again. Even if I needed to do that, like even if I like knew that either people that I needed to like to stay away from, even if it was just all positive or negative or whatever, I personally would not be able to like do that just because of the fact that part of me as a person and the experiences I had, you know, had to do with people I've known, and like true, people come and go in your life, that's just a way of like life. However, if I had the choice, I wouldn't want to leave people who have such a big impact on me and like a big impact on like where I'm from, and like it reminds me of like even the journey I've had in my life already. So like personally for me, I wouldn't be able to do that, but I do know people who like kind of have already. And interestingly enough, like my mom, she actually talks about stuff like that because I'm one of the first people in my family to get a college degree, and she thinks that now that I have that like I'm just gonna get like a career and kind of like move and not associate myself with them because they think that I'm gonna think that I'm better than them because of like the education I just got, which is not the case whatsoever. But that is interesting that you bring something like that up. Yeah.
well, congratulations on having your college degree.
Thank you.
Yeah, first, let's just take a quick second to applaud the dude. College is no easy feat. College sucks. It's hard.
It wasn't hard.
But
Good job, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks. I'm actually looking to go to grad school soon. So see how
Oh,
that
wow.
goes. Yeah. Probably gonna get a PhD program. Right now I'm looking at Columbia, Johns Hopkins, places like that. Looking at biomedical engineering, and probably gonna try to do some research on artificial organs and see if I could help out people who like need like a heart or like maybe even kidneys and stuff like that, where it takes it's like a long waiting list, and like by the time you need it, you might not even be able to get an organ that you need transplanted.
Wow.
So researching on artificial organs would be something that I would feel like it's for my life it's self-fulfilling.
Okay.
You're beautiful, man. For that one right
You're a good dude, for real.
Appreciate that.
my man has big dreams that we all know he can accomplish.
Yeah, absolutely.
Facts, I'll beat your ass if you don't do it.
Honestly, I hope you do, bro.
I will. What's Adonis? You got a PhD yet? 10 years later.
But
I haven't talked to you for 10 years. Come back over. You got a PhD yet?
Dude, with that PhD yet, bro.
Yeah. Better have that shit, bro.
that's cool though. I don't think I don't know. I could probably cut off my family. I could cut off stuff, but I don't think I'd be able to give up like my name. I don't know. Something about my name, I just don't feel like I can live without it. My name
is
is
my
my
name.
name.
Yes. You can't take that from me.
I don't know. Something about my name just sticks with me. But not abandoning, but cutting off family, I believe I could cut off family if they were toxic enough to a certain degree. Anyone, honestly, if they're bad enough to a certain degree without like I guess a good reason, and it's pretty damn hard to find a good reason, then yeah, that's where I stand.
I don't. To be honest, I really would just want to check in with my mom and every now and then. I think that's my only thing. Like, I can't see myself never talking to my mom ever again.
So you won't be able to do it, I guess, right? Because like you have
No,
to cut off
absolutely
everything,
not.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely not.
What about you, Will?
But well, Don's already hit on it. We're both Spanish, you know. So you got the family ties. You got yeah, too much. You had to stick with the family, bro. I can't cut off. You can't cut off family. It's too fucking hard. in our culture, in our way of thinking. Yeah, it's like difficult. And that's, you know, it's crazy. My dad did that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to go from like El Salvador, like all of us did that. Like your parents got to go from like a country that you've been to here with like no one else. Just my dad like had my uncle, so yeah, help, but still, it's fucking mental.
That's
So,
hard as shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm like, bro. That's crazy. So
If you don't have any support,
nothing at all. You just come here. Hopefully, you find some people that you could like, yo, you got a job out here? What's happening? Trying to do stuff. So for me, nah, I don't think I could do it. I have you guys. I need you guys. I need my family. I can't just cut. Like, I can't just leave everybody, go to fucking like Bumblebee, like French Guinea or some shit, and make a new life. like nah, that's not gonna happen. I can't. And meet new people, trying to like trust people and like do all this building shit. Nah. And plus, how I am with new people, I don't get along at first because I'm just like I don't know you, so I'm chilling. So then later on, like you know, what I'm saying it takes a while. So nah, I won't be able to do that. That's too hard. It's too difficult.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I would need to tap in and check in with my mom, and if we're doing the podcast, which is something I really look forward to, like to just completely abandon this and music, like nah, I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have to also like abandon your career. You're talking about if you're gonna like uproot, I guess.
Yeah, I'm talking about like completely leaving everything behind and like as if people were trying to kill you or something.
Oh, son. That'd be wild. Yeah, honestly, that would be as if like a mini death. To be honest, it's not you anymore. You can't be you anymore. You know, and that reminds me of a show. I forgot what show it was. Basically, the guy kind of like regenerates or something, and people ask him if he feels immortal because like, every time you regenerate, you basically come back to life. Like so, it's like as if you're immortal. The guy's like, nah. Like when everything you stand for, like your concepts, your ideas, your beliefs, and all that just ends, like you die. You know. So if anything, I experienced 1,000 deaths. I was like, damn. Like every time he regenerated, he was basically a different person. You know. So like, I forget the show. I think Doctor Who. There you go. It's
like a mental death.
Yeah, it's like a mental death, but like you're not you anymore. You know, you're like how do you
psychological death? There we go. That's better.
Yeah, that's good too. So that's what that reminds me of. Where like you're just not you anymore.
Okay. Damn, you gotta go like fucking Midwestern, like random ass town, because like because we're from
people trying to kill you. You gotta go to a wholly different environment.
Yeah, start a new life, look different, dress different, talk different and shit. Always looking over your shoulder. I couldn't do it.
But can you really like abandon the past though? Because the past just always ends up catching up to you.
So you have to keep moving.
Do you think you can like really run away from it?
I mean, like the Nazis moved to Argentina, bro, and they're fine. they probably had a bunch of fucking generations over there.
Shit. Actually, Adonis, she did say something that was pretty fire that I wanted you to re-say before we go deeper into the podcast.
What?
something about the effect of the quarantine?
Oh no, it's just something small that like basically I talked to my advisor about. So like my advisor, I still kind of talk to him from like the college I went to, Pace, and basically one thing we talked about was right when quarantine started. Uh, we were talking about how this could affect kind of like mental health of like a lot of different individuals, and not only because of like the social aspects of like not being able to see your friends and like even some family members who like are elderly or anything like that, but also talking about how now that you have all this free time that you originally did not have before, you kind of spend it more. Uh, try and find stuff to keep yourself busy. But even that, people are afraid of kind of being bored in the sense where now you just kind of left with your own thoughts, right? And you kind of are forced to be with yourself. You have to ask that question: like, am I comfortable with myself? And not only like you know, being me, but am I comfortable with who I am? And like, you start thinking about like, all right, like, am I happy with this, or am I happy with that, or do I feel complacent here, or do I feel sad about this? And these are kind of questions you don't tend to ask yourself because you're always busy. Like you go to work. Let's say you have like a 9 to 5, do that. You come home. You eat, maybe take a shower, do like a daily routine, and like by the time you finish all that, you kind of take a shower and like again like go to sleep, do everything all over again. So this quarantine is kind of having people, think about these kind of questions, and honestly, it could lead to like different forms of depression, or it could even lead to, kind of vulnerability in a sense that you're not really prepared for, because of the fact that like, oh, I'm not keeping myself busy, I'm not doing all these other things because I'm kind of forced to like be home, be with myself, and that's just something that I honestly hope that people remember after all the phases are complete, because we should really take the time to be a little bit more self-aware of ourselves and really ask ourselves these kind of questions, because it may sound stupid when you ask it, like, oh, like, how does this make me feel? Like, it does sound dumb and like cliche, but honestly, like, you can it'll definitely be beneficial, and like you can really ask yourself like, all right, well, this happened in my life. Am I actually processing it, or am I kind of just telling myself I'll think about it when I'm free, knowing that I'm never free, and like knowing that I'm always busy, and having that time, X amount of months to really know yourself better. I hope after this whole quarantine thing is done, like people kind of get a better idea of like how to really be by themselves, and like how to really think about how they are experiencing life, and it really could help not only themselves but also people around them, because like having a better understanding of yourself, you could explain it to other people better, and like you could have a better conversation and like better understanding that way with just how people are and things like that. But that's kind of just one topic I kind of talked to my advisor about. He's a really cool guy, and we kind of have these type of conversations every few weeks or so. So like I really hope people out there just kind of take the time to really get to know themselves better, and really kind of treat themselves with like mental health. It definitely is an important topic that I think shouldn't really be disregarded. And again, with like my kind of culture, like Spanish, um, heritage, a lot of people in my life kind of just think mental health is like a fiction. It's not like really anything that's kind of detrimental to knowing about, and that 100% is not the case. And it's something that is very serious, and also like it could be beneficial to like take the time out to really get to know yourself better that way. And yeah, that's kind of just my 2 cents on like the whole reason why people kind of would be in their bag a little bit more lately, and kind of like maybe be a little frustrated or cranky or anything like that, because they're not really used to this type of conversation with themselves. So yeah.
Okay. This man dropped more than 2 cents. Nigga dropped the whole fucking paycheck. But I let's just go around real quick, get some thoughts, get a little discussion going on that part. Will, like what did you like absorb, or like responses, initial thoughts, anything?
He is right about all of that.
I mean,
Pretty
yeah.
much. Yeah.
I
people
mean,
are going. People. I mean. All right. Wait. trying to think. Not he's
No,
right about that. It's about
it
like
was a
people
lot.
but it's about like nowadays people are gonna actually see where they at, like where they are in life, and see if like it's actually like maybe like if they're like actually doing what they want to do. Actually, maybe they're hitting the goals they want to do, or they have like no goals. They can start making goals or start doing other shit. You know, it makes you think. It makes you like wonder, like what are you doing right now, and how you could get better, and what you could get better, and you want answers too. So it gives you questions, gives you answers, gives you the whole Shazam to try and improve your life to the better. And that's what's happened to most people. It's like, you know, they're home by themselves, start thinking about stuff they couldn't think about before. And it's giving them stuff to, like, I guess if they need a vent, they could talk to someone. Tell someone what their issue is and what's going on, and have support off that. I feel like most people now are probably thinking like, are they depressed or they're not? And then maybe they were thinking about like past actions that happened before in life that caused them, you know, maybe trauma or some shit, and thinking if that was a problem or not, how that affected them. It's kind of dark times when you're by yourself, and, you know, and like especially now when it's like you can't really, like early on when you couldn't really go anywhere and you just had to be home the whole damn time. Kind of makes you think about what's happening, you know?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Like,
I want to tag on that. Wait, oh my bad. You continue first.
nah, you can go.
Because I wanted to like just tag on that last part you were talking about. How like since we do have the free time, we're starting to like go through our memories and like it's kind of like we're just doing like playbacks on like stuff that happened, wondering did I do something wrong? Did I do something right? You're starting to like able to focus on stuff that you might have done but didn't really realize it, but you never had the time to actually sit down and soak up like your choices in life.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm actually gonna do a little short pass to Steve to get what you were thinking.
I'm sorry, I missed that on. What do you mean? What I'm thinking about?
Like, what are you thinking? From what we were just talking about, topic in general of just being home alone with your thoughts and thinking, really.
I mean, I do it a lot. I'm kind of used to it. It's my comfort zone, actually, I would say. Um, yeah, I just, it's cool. It's cool when you're like, I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm a little bit lost on the topic. I did go on Tinder and I stopped paying attention. I just need a brief recap.
Nigga, you trying to pay attention? Come on now, man.
No, I got you. It's just Tinder.
I'm
It
not.
was like, hey, what's up?
I know, but come on, man.
The Putain takes over, bro.
Someone
But
trying to recap.
what we were talking about is like this whole idea of just kind of like people spending more time with like their own thoughts and like how maybe ways to kind of get accustomed to it, or like maybe ways of just kind of like getting used to it. I know you just said that like, you know, it's a very comfortable place for you. Maybe you could talk about either like why it's a comfortable place for you and like why you think that it's somewhere that you feel comfortable with. So you can elaborate on that if you want to.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, that
Oh,
makes sense.
good.
So yeah, most of my life I actually spend indoors, either like distracting myself with like entertainment, like watching podcasts, or just reflecting. Yeah,
What
and
do you usually reflect about?
the day, the kind of man I want to be. That's a big thing for me. Like
Mm.
figuring out like what I actually want versus uh uh what I actually want versus what I think I wanted in order to fit like a stereotype or an image of something.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of some valuable thoughts to really think about, because again,
Hmm.
that's something where, let's say, like an example would be like, so I got a major in biology, right? And for a long time, I'm like, am I like majoring this because like I want to, or because like it's something that I'm just falling back on because I know that I love art and I love drawing, I love music, but you know, with my current like situation, it's not really something I could have really pursued. So for a long time, I was like, all right, am I pursuing this because
Hmm.
is just something that is a fallback plan for me, or is it because I genuinely want to? You know, after some time, it's not like I'm not in love with that kind of concept of biology, but more I'm in love with the idea of science and like kind of inquisitive thought and all that. And it's something that I was only able to really figure out after spending, some time with myself and thinking about these kind of questions. So I can really see what you're talking about with confusing the two of like, all right, is this something that I desire, or is this something that's been pushed on to me that I just subconsciously think that it's now something I want because somebody else said it was.
Yeah, it's a great thing. I mean, I've been like lately coming to terms with the fact that like I've had a lot of free time to do what I wanted to do and pursue what I wanted to pursue, and I haven't been doing it. And it's just like, why?
That's good.
It's weird.
It's
Yeah, because I genuinely would like to have a popular like music career and be out there win awards. But yeah, I just kind of been like home, just not doing anything.
I mean, time spent on yourself is also important, but even just working on your craft could also just even if it's not something that like you could post, or if it's like not like a banger out, out the gate, that's also fine. But even just working on your craft and just kind of like doing little things like that could also be worth your time.
Yeah, so yeah, that's just the thing that I've been thinking about. At this age of like 23, where I could have gone to school, got a physical therapy degree.
What
Or
was
I
that
could
last
have like,
part?
Yeah, you sound a little muffled, bro.
yes, things I've been thinking about at my age right now, where it's like I finally am starting to feel like I'm ready to start doing things, and I can't. Uh, I should just lazy about it.
Feel lazy about it, said?
Yeah, hella lazy. That's probably my
Like,
thing. I'm hella lazy.
why do you feel like you're hella lazy about it, though?
Because I've been talking about wanting to do music probably my whole entire life, but I'd never learned to play a scale. I'd never learned to even reading. Like I kind of learned how to read a little bit, and then I kind of forgot it.
So, do you want to make music in terms of like you want to work on like digital stuff, like on the computer, or do you want to like use instruments and then like kind of compose those things and then
All of
transfer
it.
digitally?
All of it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I guess that's somewhere you could just start. Just say kind of music theory is a really big area to go into, but there's definitely like small things you can start off with. Like a scale again, or like little things and like little things like, oh, what is a triad and stuff like that, which
Yeah.
could, even though it could like seem small, but like you're doing something with it and like you're
Right.
making moves rather than just
Right.
like thinking about, oh, maybe I should do this.
Right.
I get one thing again is like something I want to do is like make a comic book, right?
Mm.
And I do have some days where like I'm not really that motivated to do it, or I'm not really feel like I'm pushing myself enough, and like I'm not really making that much leeway. But one minimum task I always make sure I do is like, all right, I have to at least draw for an hour, right? Every day, like I gotta draw for an hour, because I'm not the only one who wants to make a comic book. There's a lot of other people out there who want to make comic books, and they're probably drawing more than I am. But it's really okay. How do I make sure I myself is constantly bettering myself, right? Like every day I have to do something that will improve, even something small, like sketching, like either faces or like even eyes or something like that. So you could do something similar, and like, but you know what? I'm not feeling super motivated today. Let me at least do something, and like, all right, let me just play some scales, and let me like just memorize the musical alphabet really quick, like it's a small alphabet, and it's stuff like that. That were the days where you do feel like you can't really do much because of that laziness strikes and like lack of motivation. Those are the most difficult days, but those are the days that really kind of show how much you really want it, and like you kind of pushing yourself to do stuff like that, and given again like the whole quarantine thing, it allows us to really think about like, all right, what do I want to do with my time? Like, what is something that's enjoyable to me?
It's crazy that like now we're actually like we're adults.
Yeah.
We
Honestly,
are adults.
we are now, and that's actually a concept. I've been reading this book, and it's called Ender's Game. Like, it's something that probably a lot of people know about. I just figured out what it was recently, and without giving the book away, long story short, is just kind of like a book talking about these like really young kids who are kind of raised to be like generals and stuff like that, right? And one thing the author said about that book was that he wrote it in the perspective of these kids, and these kids are like 6 years old, right? 6 to like 10 years old. But when you're reading the book, you wouldn't think that, right? You kind of like, all right, these are like people, of like their age, or whatever. Yo, honestly, the way they speak is kind of grown, And the reason for that, the author put in his notes, like the reason why it's like that is because when he was writing the book, he was thinking about his childhood, and he never felt like a kid, And when he was an adult, he never felt like an adult. He just kind of felt like the same person, just going through different stages in his life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he wouldn't even call those stages like childhood and adult. He just would call it like, all right, I have slightly less responsibilities, but less freedoms. And then like as he got older, he got more freedom, but also more responsibility. And the reason I bring that up is because you said, Rami, how we're kind of adults now, right? And this guy, his whole life, you could say that he always felt that he had responsibilities. He always felt that he had this kind of idea of like who he was that he was trying to figure out.
Whoa.
And what?
I'm sorry. Something odd just popped into my head.
That's so good.
But
yeah, basically he was kind of just talking about how he's talking about how like he always felt like himself. He never felt like an adult. He never felt like a child. And it's a concept that I found very interesting because like when you're younger, you never feel like, oh, I'm a kid. Like what I say doesn't really matter as much as like someone who's older than me. You know what I'm saying? And like when you get older and like you see people who are now like like in the 20s and the 30s, still kind of behaving how they were when they were younger. You kind of think to yourself like, all right, what does it really mean to like, all right, I'm an adult now. Like, okay, biologically speaking, yes, I'm like in adulthood, but like, what does that mean to me socially? What does that mean to me like, like mentally, like, and I am an adult now, right? And that's just something that I come to think about sometimes. I don't really have a strong, I guess, hold on like what I think about it, but it was a very interesting concept to just think about how, okay, now that I just graduated college, am I like immediately adult now? Like, am I adulting now? Or is it like, once I have a career, a house, and a car? Or is it after I have kids? Like when is that, people are always transitioning, always changing, always learning. So, I don't really use strong, like, I guess, like, firm boundaries to that. Like, yeah, I'm like adult biologically speaking, but it's something that I don't want to cause, like, I guess, like, closed-minded thinking where like, all right, now that I'm an adult, I can't do like childlike things, like drawing or like, just being creative, things like that. But no, just something I thought of when you said that, Rami. Wow, so really passionate back then.
I mean, you're on about it. You're like, what?
About the background, it was funny.
Oh.
Actually, I do have a question for you, Will, since you spoke. When do you feel that you are like an adult? Or do you even feel like an adult in the first place?
Nah. I mean, like, I guess when you're younger, you always think of like, and I see it with my kids. It's funny because like I see with my kids, they're like, oh, I want to be grown and stuff, right? Because like they want to do shit. Because you tell them like, yo, I want this, and then you're like, nah, I ain't gonna get you that shit. That shit money, so I ain't gonna get you, bro. I'm sorry. Like, damn, bro, I wish I was an adult. I'm like, you don't want to be an adult. It's kind of annoying, but I'm like, I always what Donis was saying with that book and how like, it's like what is adulting? Like people always say that adult is like when you're like, I guess like 25, you have a career, you have a house, car, you have responsibilities, and then you have kids, you have a family, and all this other shit. But like, it's not. I feel like that's not really is adulting because there's people that do that, but they're like they still like you don't like you classify them as adults, but you don't. Like maybe they do stuff that's not like adulting in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like they can have all that, but they probably still like. I feel like that's like just like limiting them and who they are. I don't know why. I feel like even having a car and all that stuff, you could say you're an adult, but you're not really an adult in a way. Because like what is an adult? Because everybody like someone could be in there the same age, not having those things. Are they an adult or they're not an adult because they don't have all those stuff? So I feel like I feel like it's everybody's personal thing. Like I always see kids, and like when people like always just make kids and stuff, like oh they're just kids. They're fucking they're stupid, bro. Like whatever, like they're not. They're just kids. I'm like, you're stupid. First of all, kids know a lot. They see a lot. They could like you say something, they're gonna keep that shit. Like you say something, they're like, oh, you gonna do that tomorrow? Bet you better do that tomorrow. They put you know what I'm saying? They're not dumb. They see stuff, they look at stuff, they could put in their heads what's going on. So when I see like adults treating kids like as like, oh, it's just kids, don't worry about it, it's kind of dumb in a way. So like I'm like, what he was saying about like the guy, like, oh, it's a kid, but I didn't feel like a kid. Like he ain't wrong, because like when you're a kid, you don't do everything just to do everything, right? Like you think about stuff, you think about like what you say sometimes, you know what not to say, what to say. You have like certain little responsibilities like in yourself. You don't have like, you don't need to pay a damn house, but you have stuff that you have to be careful of. Like when you were trying to get a game, and you your mom and dad says, nah, I ain't gonna get you that game because that's expensive. So then you trying to like find ways to like trying to get that game. You know what I'm saying? Like you trying to find
the
ways.
water bottles.
Yep. And you're trying to like, all right, if I don't get anything like maybe this week or next week, maybe in the third week I could go back and be like, yo, I haven't got it in 2 weeks, so come on now. I haven't made y'all pay anything for 2 weeks. Can I get a game? You know what I'm saying? So like I feel like, like maybe like you could say that responsibility has grown when you keep getting older and stuff, but like
like the goal is different, but the what you're doing is very similar. Saving up, doing things like that. Mm-hmm. I feel you. It's just the mentality, like, someone could be like have a young, biological age, but like really mentally be very mature and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yep. And then someone could be old as fuck, 30, 35, but act like a fucking kid.
It's like a child, very, very immature kind of mindset,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like I feel like that's just labels. I feel like people put labels and they're trying to like fit into that label. So like you get away from that.
Mm-hmm. I feel there's also like a lot of negative connotations that come with like being an adult. Like, oh, I'm adult now, my life is over. You know what I'm saying?
You can't fuck up or shit like that.
Yeah, definitely it is again like more responsibility. Like the trend is still the same, as we've been growing up, like more responsibility, but at the same time more freedom. You have the freedom to fuck up, like that's definitely gonna happen. But at the same time, it's a lot more freedom in regards to like what you're able to do with your life, the directions you can take. And like the way you spend your time, and I just think one thing that like I guess people like harp on is like the fact that like if you do mess up, like you go to jail, you do mistakes, like in school, you go in a fight in school, like worst thing's gonna happen. All right, you don't go to school for like 3 days. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But in life, like you fight somebody at the store, like, you might go to jail depending on like how badly you hurt them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I think it's something that people like tend to be afraid of, and they end up kind of saying like, oh, the best years are behind me now. Like, what kind of life would be that if you just kind of believe that there's nothing to look forward to anymore? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's just definitely something to keep mind of.
Okay. Yeah, no, you're right, dog.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Well, pretty much. Well,
everyone's just saying like, damn.
I mean, ain't wrong. I feel like it's all labels, man. Adult and like it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's like society made these labels.
It's fucking dumb as hell. Cause then it's like you become a kid, right? And like everybody's like, oh, you're free to do anything you want. Actually, you're not free to do anything you want. You know what I'm saying? Like if you do some shit, your mom and dad's gonna beat your shit if they need to. What are you talking about? Oh yeah, you can do anything you want. Nah, I can't do anything I want. And then you get to adult, and then it's like, oh, now I gotta deal with all this crap and deal with like responsibilities and like more shit. And then they wait until like they're retired to go like, oh, I'm gonna go travel. I'm free again. It's like, what the fuck? What is that?
No, live your life.
Like, live your life. Like, why are you gonna say, all right, my best years are when I'm a kid and when I'm old as fucking about to die? What the fuck happened in the middle? Like the middle. The middle, you're just like, oh, I'm shitty life, shitty everything. I'm like, people think like that. I'm like, that's dumb. Like, you could go travel when you're fucking, like, again, like, certain people have different circumstances and, like, certain, financial liability and can't, like, go take a travel to another country. But maybe you could get, travel to another town or some shit if you can. Like, go somewhere else, somewhere different. Mm-hmm. Have your own type of, like, I guess, what you could do in your financial states. So, like, but you don't need to see everything like, oh, this shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like kill yourself just to get to retirement and then die probably after you get retired.
What was the working and like taking a vacation formula? Like work for a year, then you're able to take like only a 1 week off. Work for 2 weeks. Work for 2 years, you get 2 weeks off as a vacation. Like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's mental. Like because I have vacation hours in my fucking job, and it takes so fucking long. If you do 40 hours, it takes so fucking long just to get like a week worth of vacation. It's like fucking hell, bro.
Yeah. And it's not even like you take the vacation just to, relax. It's like it's so much more than just, all right, I don't have to work. You're able to like rest your soul, your like psyche, your mentality, all of that.
Mm.
So I don't know.
Man,
I've always
go back to mental health, bro. Really important.
It is.
Yeah, really important. People gotta talk about that. Gotta hit up the therapist, everyone. Because that helps.
A therapist needs a therapist, bro. Like...
Yeah, facts. A therapist needs a therapist. And that therapist needs a therapist.
Like everyone needs someone to talk to. Essentially, that's how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like you need to de-stress. You need to relax. You need to like not like try to work yourself into oblivion. I don't know why we're programmed or taught that way.
It's that
money, bro.
American dream, bro.
Like, everything runs on money, and it's a focus for like a lot of people. And like, I don't blame them, like money really is something that is a necessity in life, not because of like what just could give you, just because like you need to eat, you need to sleep somewhere, you need some sort of vehicle. But at the same time, like I think sometimes it's too much of a focus, and people start picking careers where they don't really enjoy being in it. And some circumstances they just can't help it. Like some places you really just need a job just for the.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's most people's circumstances, bro. They just got to do what they got to do to provide, man. I think I've been super privileged to where like I could just kind of sit in my house and not really do much, and then once I like start to realize like, oh, yo, I'm legit the only one. Like even my friends, like y'all are out like doing stuff. I'm the only one sitting in the house doing nothing.
But it's not a competition either, too. Like you should go about it at your own pace.
You think so?
Yeah. 100%. It's not a competition. Just because, say, Adonis got that PhD and he's making like super bread, doesn't mean I'm like, shit, now I gotta go get a PhD. If I'm not able to do something that takes me to that next step in my life, then that's okay. I should do it at a rate that I'm comfortable at and ready for, rather than forcing myself into the next stage, not being ready for the next stage. And while failure is always an option, I'm rushing to fail. It's like I'm basically creating my own defeat. That's going to be even worse than if I was prepared for it. Or that's how I see it.
Yeah, I see it the same way. You gotta take your time to do what you want to do, man. Because like again, I'm pissed off at myself because I went for fucking Suffolk. I went to community college for a criminal justice degree. Now I'm like, I don't want to be a fucking criminal justice. I don't want to be in that degree. So I'm like, bro, I got this. Yeah, I don't want to be in criminal justice. I wish I would have just took some time and get into like liberal arts, do like the major classes that I have to do, and then transfer. Like when I know I'm ready, like all right, I want to be this, I want to be that. I could transfer and just do those credits at another school. But I went through it because everybody's going to fucking college. I went through it. I was like, you know what, I gotta pick a degree because I need a job. Be a cop, make it easy. Nah, fuck that.
Yeah, we know how that goes.
Yeah, you know how that goes. And that was before everything popped off. That's when I said screw that, because it was just my teacher woke me up and was like, nah, being a cop, shitty shit, bro. Like really, you're just a shit human being. Like you don't do shit. You don't help people. You came in here to help people. You don't help people, bro. It doesn't work. Love that woman to death. And so she made me realize not being a cop. And now I hate it because I'm like, bro, I went for 2 years, got my associates, but now I'm like, bro, now I want to go in psychology because maybe therapists doesn't make that much money, but they help people and they give people some stuff that they could like improve on their lives. And that's what I want to do because I want to help people. That's why I want to become a police officer, help people, because everybody said, oh, you be a police officer, you can help people, but not really. So therapist became a way because that could help people as well. So now I'm like, fuck, now I need to go to school, do the credits that I don't have from this criminal justice degree, and then do the credits of that degree. So I'm doing basically more shit than I needed to do if I just went for a fucking basic liberal arts major. Well, associate. So I kind of fucked myself on that one. But now I'm like, fuck it. Now I know what I want to do, and it took me to 23. Now I gotta go do it. And it takes time. I hear when people say, "Yo, you gotta rush it. You gotta go. If you want to do this, do it.
Like,
Not
no.
really. Like for school and shit. Like, I don't think people should do that. Like, they don't need to be rushed into it. Like, yo, just go, just finish up, do it, get a job, and all this other shit. I'm like, it doesn't work like that sometimes. And like,
I wish.
if figure out what you want to do, and once you find out what you want to do, then just go with it, bro. Just fucking, do it. Just hustle it. Pretty much, just grind that shit and just go. And just fucking get it.
I agree.
Yeah, that's how I always see it. Like, once you figure out what you want to do, and then you just grind it. Just find your ways to get into it. Find your ways how to do it. Figure what you want to do. That's how I always see it. Yeah, I've never rushed it. I hate that concept.
Because it's like rushing just doesn't give you enough time to really look at what you want, and it sucks. And like, it does suck that even school kind of like gives us that mentality of that too. It's like our last 4 years of like high school. Like, all right, SATs, you got to get the good SATs so you can apply to colleges right after high school, so you can go into a college, so you can get a job. And here I am with my special bachelor's paper that's made from normal printing paper, and I can't find a job.
There it is.
What's up? My bad. I didn't know I got disconnected. I thought, like, I was just listening, so wasn't really trying to speak. Until I tried to speak, I'm like, oh, I don't think they can hear me.
Yeah, because you got cut off like right when you finished. So you're like, wait, was he done or did he get cut off?
Damn.
And then the conversation kept rolling.
Yeah, like,
so I'm like, I was waiting for the perfect time to bring this up. Like, yo, is he still here?
Yeah, but no, I feel you on that, Will. Like, to be honest, bro, like I wish I didn't major in biology, and I spent 4 years on that degree, and I've been like really kind of going through it. I'm not gonna hold you guys. Like, the past few days have been really rough because like I kept regretting it. I was like, wow, I regret this degree because the STEM field. I originally thought, going to science, that like, all right, well, if I ended up wanting to go into engineering, it probably wouldn't take too much of a difference because I'm in a science, right? But it doesn't really work that way. So an engineering program, though you do need some science in it, it has a lot of different other courses that are not covered in a science program. So, that I have to take, all these different classes, like differential equations, linear algebra, like discrete math, like computer, all these classes that like warrant about a year to 2 years of like classes that I could take or need to take rather to go into a program. And like I kind of deep down knew that I wanted to do math, but again, like how Steve was talking about earlier, like how I didn't know if this was something I wanted to do for myself or because of the people around me. And a lot of people at Pace wanted to go to biology because they want a PA program, or they want to do med school, or they want to do like stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, like this stuff sounds cool. And like, honestly, I could probably do that stuff. And I kind of just jumped on the boat of like biology. But, deep down, I don't really think I ever loved it, and to this day, I don't even think there's anything like right now I love besides just learning. So like, that's why I'm thinking about PhD program, because in that type of field, like I'll just constantly be learning because I have to be, and it's so right. Cause like the reason is, again, I've talked to my advisor about the same situation, and it's okay to feel like as if like you felt like you wasted time, but at the end of the day, you didn't. Like you went through that program and you found out through that program, like, this is not what I want to do, and we never really get a definitive answer until we do something. And like, we try to like mitigate that by like kind of doing research and like kind of guessing, like, and seeing what we're really into. But, I was telling him about my regret about this, but like through these 4 years, like I learned how much I love math and like things I want to do, and like the people I've met, like it would have all been different if I went somewhere else, and I might not even have gone to the same conclusion, and I might have gone to that med school path, done med school, and be like, wow, after med school, I might have figured out this is not what I want to do. And that would have been even worse. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not going to hold you. That would have been a big L.
That would have been one of the fattest L's.
Like, that would be a colossal L. We would have to like throw a party for like, yo, I feel so bad.
Congratulations, but not really.
Congratulations. You're depressed. You're depressed. But like, that's, like, and I feel you, Will. It does suck, spend time, money, and like, resources on like getting something that you end up really don't think you're gonna use in the future. But you know, I'm glad that it was like 2 years instead of like you actually, you know, becoming a cop and you're like, this is not what I want to do. You know, like 6 years later. You know what I'm saying? And you know, don't let that, I guess, regret eat you up, because it has been like destroying me inside, like destroying me. It's not like a game where you could be like, all right, let me save before I make this like game decision, and if I don't like it, I just reload something. Like it's you gotta live with the decisions. You know, you gotta like work with them, and like it's something that I've been struggling with, and it's something I really need to work on. But you know, I'm just trying to work with what I got. You know, I'm just trying to work with. I got the degree. At the end of the day, I have the degree. You know, it still does help me somewhat, at least with what I want to do.
Yeah.
And you know, I just got to kind of. I know for myself, I don't want to just stay where I am at the moment in life, and I know that I'll work hard to, like, you know, go where I want to go and like do the things I want to do, stuff like that.
Yeah. True. Yeah. Pretty much. That's why I'm always grateful I went to Farmdale. Fuck it, I'm grateful I didn't stop, because then that's where I found out fuck being a cop from that teacher. That's what I always be grateful going to Farmdale for that. It's just her. She straight up shitted on everything. Like, yo, bro, yeah, nah, she shitted on the cops. She shitted on men, because, you know, to be honest, sometimes we trash. Shit on like privileges.
Yeah, we try.
Shitting on fucking like any like capitalism and shit like that. I'm just like, god damn.
God, shit like a hateful woman.
Nah, but like she was like, but she brought in the facts, so she wasn't like saying shit just to say shit. She brought in facts to prove what she said, and she'll say everything she said. She would say like, you know, like fucking about like cops and shit, like how they like, you know, 50% domestic abusers, and how they treat like, you know, minorities, and how like, you know, this shit's like going to pop off one day. Like, y'all think I'm playing? She knew. So she was like, tell people like, go meet cops, go meet these people that you want to be with, and you gonna know like this. They ain't here to help you. They're there to help, you know, the government corporation. They ain't to help the people. She preached all those facts, and like she brings it in real good. And I'm just like, yo, I fucks with it.
No, yeah, I feel you. Like the stats are there. I mean, I also don't want you to go around this basing like every cop you meet is gonna be like that. Like I don't want you like be like, oh, the guy's a cop, he's automatically a scumbag. Like that's also like, because like now you're kind of like categorizing them just because they are a cop. Like they might be in the same situation as you, where like they got into it because they wanted to help people, and then figure out that like the system itself is something that needs to be fixed. Yeah. You know, but they just kind of stuck there, and like they kind of like, all right, well, I'm a police officer now. So, like, I feel you on that. Like, again, like I feel like she's probably like been educated in like aspects like that, but also like I don't want you to assume that someone you meet who is a cop is automatically like a domestic abuser or anything like that. Because
no, but that's what I said. 50%.
Trying to be a cop?
No, but like
who
like
me?
August.
Nah, I know a police officer, like, personally. So I'm like...
Yeah, they're not all... Like, you could say they're not all bad.
I'm trying to be,
you know. They're not there to help you, essentially, in a way that you think that they're
and, like,
help you.
You know, it...
Wait, I don't want to body y'all, but I don't want this to get too much into cops. That's a whole different episode. I wanted Adonis to at least say his part, because we did have that episode talking about this. And I did want to get his thoughts, but I did want us to say a little bit of how we thought. But I don't want this to be the full last part of the episode. We can definitely talk about this another day, not for this one. But I wonder, is there anything else y'all want to be talking about?
No, I'm Gucci, really.
On that topic, yeah, I'm good. And then we could do another episode about like. We should do one right after. Is that okay? Y'all got time?
I can't do it today, but I could do it some other time soon. But
I do want to get another person. I do want to have another like real talk about life, but I want to get Justin Alexander, because it would be nice to actually get someone who's a little older than us, who actually been a little deeper in what we were talking about. Because I had this conversation. Literally, what we were talking about, I had a conversation about him, because I'm also somebody who went to college and was like, "Fuck, what am I doing?"
Yeah, I feel you.
But it's not in the sense that I don't want to do what I want for my degree. It's how society won't basically. It's basically really hard to do what I want full time, so I had to basically make a compromise, but not
All
give
right.
it up. But I'll save that for another episode.
That's
That's
the
a whole bunch.
yeah. I was just
So
kind of like I had another topic about like having kids and stuff, and just like I think that would be a really good episode. Like how do y'all see yourselves as parents?
that's gonna be good. We'll definitely save that for another. But I just wanted to do a quick wrap up. I just want to say thank you for all the listeners, whether you're on YouTube, Spotify,
Mm.
uh, honestly, all the other ones. I can't keep track of all the platforms we're on. I hope you enjoyed. Please share, like, give any sort of feedback, whether it be good or bad. We enjoy it and we appreciate it. And thank you, and
All
hope
right.
you enjoy.
Hopping
Hope you
hopping
did
back
enjoy.
on that part.